right, here we go, guys. We got 5 condensing units. 1, 2, 3. Let's go underneath these pipes. 4. And then this Daikin down here is 5. So basically a couple of them apparently are not working in heating mode, and we need to figure out what's going on. He wanted me to check out all 5. So currently these 2 are running. They're running in heating mode. It's chilly here today in Selbyville, Delaware. These 2 are running and they are making cool air out the top. This one is not running, and neither are these 2. And if I remember right, when I first came up here, all the thermostats were calling. So let's dig into these bad boys and see what's going on. All right, we do have 24 volts between R and common. So now we'll check nothing between Y and common. So either our thermostat is not calling, or it's off, or there's an issue with it. All right, all the ones that are not running, I want to diagnose to see if we at least have control voltage. So this is our 4th one down, not running. We'll check the same thing here. All right, so I pretty much got the same deal on all 3 of these. I have an R call, or I have R, but I don't have a Y call. So we're gonna go down now and see what the deal is with all these thermostats. That's why we don't have a call, because they're not calling. And one of them is missing. Looks like we're locked out at 72. And these are just remote sensor thermostats. This one is off. These are just remote sensor thermostats. They have a Honeywell control board on them that receives the signal from the thermostats here. So we're gonna get some batteries for this one. The guy told me he had removed the batteries were dead in this one. So all right, we have at least 2 of them calling now. We'll go back up there and see if they came on. All right, this one came on. This one must be the one that has the no batteries. And this one came on. So I've yet to find a problem yet. It's weird. All right, let's get some batteries for that other one and put it on. And I'm gonna review the trouble that was called in to start with on my work order. All right, so the trouble that originally reported was 5 RTUs running on emergency heat, but cold. Well, they're not RTUs, but we do have 5 units. So we're gonna dig into them one by one with the gauges and see what each of them are doing. All right, we're back to the middle one here. I just got it started up. Well, it's been running for about 5 minutes now. And according to the data plate, and I switched it over to cooling mode, by the way. According to the data plate, we want 8 degrees of TXV subcooling. So it looks like we're right about 8 degrees. It's about 70 degrees in the space, the warehouse space. It's cooler out here today. It's about 60 degrees outside here today, but looks like this one is properly charged. All right, this one here, I put new batteries in it, and I was fairly certain we had a call, but we're still not running. So we're gonna check low voltage on this again and see why this one's not running. All right, I went down and confirmed a call from the thermostat. Now these have Honeywell remote thermostats. Basically, it's just a remote. It looks like a Pro 5000, but it's just a remote control on the wall, and it just sends a signal to the Honeywell control that is mounted in the ductwork. So I know I have a good solid call coming out of the thermostat, but maybe there's something going on with that control board up there, so we're gonna have to get up there and see what's going on. We're up here at the air handler now. I have a vent right behind my head here, so I know it's making at least some heat from the emergency heat. So we're gonna test Y and C here and see if we have 24 volts. All right, so come and find out. The thermostat was set to emergency heat, so that's why it wasn't bringing on the compressor. So we got that squared away. Let's go back up top. All right, well, wouldn't you know, once you have a a solid call, it'll come on. So, man, I haven't found a damn thing wrong with any of these units yet. We're gonna keep looking though. They've asked us to come check out all 5. We'll check out all 5. All right, I shifted the one that we thought we didn't have a call on, but the thermostat just wasn't in regular heat. I shifted that one over to air conditioning so I could check the charge on it. Everything's just coming down now. My suction line was pretty warm considering it was just in heat. So we're gonna let this settle out and see what it gets down to. It is starting to rain on me, which sucks, but oh well. As long as it doesn't start downpouring, we'll go ahead and tough this thing out. It's pretty overcast today. I don't mind working in the rain. I just don't like when my tools get wet, because we spend a lot of money on our tools in this industry and we hate to see them get wet. Subcoolants came down a little bit. Looks like our TXV is metering, so. All right, let's let it run a couple more minutes. This one might be a skosh undercharged, but probably not by much. I turned on one of my temp probes here just so we could gauge outdoor temperature, and it's about 57 and raining. That's why we have 88% relative humidity, because it is raining. Looks like our subcooling is going down with our head pressure coming up. Like I said, this one might be a hair undercharged, but nothing to warrant starting to dump refrigerant in this thing. All things considered, I think this one is pretty good too. Like I said, I haven't found anything wrong with any of them yet, besides the one unit being in emergency heat. All right, let's take our stuff off this one. We're gonna move on to the next one. This was the filter for number 1. Pretty dirty. Just checking the coil on number 1 now. Doesn't seem horrible. That filter was bad though. We got a new filter going back in her. We're changing the filters in all these too. They gave me new filters, so I'm putting them in. The thing I noticed on this air handler 1, I had to move this pump to get this filter out. But when I did that, this started twisting. And this is not glued on. So we're gonna fix that right now. I'm trying to make some inside work for myself because the rain is picking up. So I'm gonna get back up on that roof and protect my tools. And we'll work on these air handlers for a little while, checking those out. One thing when you work at plants, chicken plants, any kind of plants, you do a lot of walking. Stay in shape. Why this is written on here, but it says no glue. So we're not gonna put any glue on there. I don't know why it says that, but they don't want any glue on there. They're not getting any glue. This number 3 one's dirty too. We're gonna change them all anyway, but they're pretty dirty. It's still coming down pretty decent. Let's check the weather, man. I mean, like I said, I don't mind getting wet, but I don't want my tools to get wet. Let's check the weather. Oh, looks like we're pretty much foobarred. We're gonna be in the rain, like it or not. The good thing here is, up against this building wall here, we're kind of protected from the rain a little bit. I guess the rain's coming in this way, and this building here is protecting us a little bit, so it's not too horrible. But all right, we're gonna finish up going through the air handlers, changing filters, and just making sure all that's good, getting model and serial numbers, and then we'll have to come back out here. But like I said, I haven't found a damn thing wrong yet. Nothing at all. And they want to pay us to diagnose 5 units, so that's what they're getting. All right, let's keep on with these air handlers. All right, we got air handler number 3 opened up here. Just gonna check some stuff out. I'm gonna jump out the electric heat, just make sure that comes on. Just do a once over, not really a PM, but just a once over. All right guys, my electric heat isn't coming on here. So when W right here leaves that wire nut, it just goes straight to these relays here. See that relay, 2 relays there and a relay right there. but we have these high limit switches in there. You see those little discs in there? They're high limit switches, and it goes through 2 of them. Our common passes through there. So common leaves our wire nut, hits that first one there, and then hits that second one there. First one's good, second one is not. So either we are in a high temperature situation, which we are not, or that switch is bad, which is more probable, because this unit's not even running. It's pretty cool. I was just running the fan for a while and it was still open. So it looks like we have a bad limit switch there. I have to get them a limit switch to make this electric heat work. So finally we found something wrong. That guy right there is our culprit. Let me see if I can get it opened up. I'll show you that there's no continuity going through it. All right, the bummer about this is between taking it off and putting it here, I guess I made the little switch in there make contact, because now the switch is working. See, now it's working. So sometimes if you press this little clicks on here, it will go back to working normal, but we know the switch is no good. It wasn't working just a minute ago. Wish I would have got it on video, but it is what it is. I'm gonna look on the truck and see if I got anything in these parameters here. So that's 185 degree cutout, that L85, minus 7 degrees is the, minus 70 degrees is the cut in. So that means it will cut out at 185 and cut back in at 115. Let's see if we got something like this on the truck. Right, I've dug through my little box here and I got plenty of high limit switches, but none of them are the right parameter. This one is 165/40. This guy here is 200 and a 40. This is probably the closest one that I have, and I might have to use this one until I get the right one in. So yeah, this is probably the closest one. This will probably get us by. All right, we'll set that guy off to the side. This guy's not the right style. He's a little itty bitty one. This is an outdoor temperature sensor. I wish I knew I had that the other day, but this guy's a little too high, 225 and 80. This one here is not the right style. This is a one and done. Once that little fuse there blows, she's done. This is actually called a fusible link. I got this one here. This is a double pole one. Not the right parameters. 145, 105. All right, so it's looking like it's going to be this one here. And I'll order the right one, because that unit might be under warranty. So we'll have to check on that. It might not. It probably isn't, where it's a commercial unit. Usually they only give you 1 year on them, but it might be this guy here to get us by. All right, let's go see. Like I said out there, the parameters are a little bit different. This one's a 200 with a cut in of 160. And this one is a 185 with a cut back in of 115. So this one will get us by until we can get the right one in there. We're going to make sure that we are not getting a high temperature situation once we get this back in there. But we definitely do not want to leave it jumped out. Never leave any high limit switches jumped out. That could start a fire. They're here for a reason. Well, I should correct myself. You can jump them out for testing and diagnosing purposes, but you never want to leave them jumped out. You never want to jump it out and then leave that job and leave that piece of equipment with a jumped out limit switch. So, all right, we got our new limit switch in there. We're gonna reapply power and see if our electric heat comes on now. All right, there it is. We got amperage. This is a 3-phase heater pack. And I can tell it hasn't ran in a while because I can smell it. All right, we'll let it run for a few minutes, let it burn off that dust that's on there. All right, we got number 3 here put back together. We got our new limit switch in. We're about to move on to the next one, which is that guy right there. All right, we're on air handler number 4 now, and this one's running. It's making tons of heat. The problem with this one, though, is its thermostat is way over there somewhere, and it's very cold on that part of the warehouse. It's like 60-something degrees over there because that elevator right there, they're constantly sending stuff up and down. So it's got a lot of outside penetration here. So that thermostat does not really reflect what the temperature is over here. So wasn't a very good spot to put that, but I guess it is what it is. But we're going to get the cover off this one, and we're just going to make sure the electric heat works. I know the heat pump's working. For one, I watched it run, and for two, it is making tons of heat right now. All right, the electric heat on this one is running currently, so we don't need to jump it out. All right, we're just going to button this one up. We just changed the filter on it. We'll move on to the next one. See, back here in this corner, we're getting a ton of outside air. Let's see what this thermostat, see, we're set for 72, but our thermostat's reading 62. And it is, like I said, it's just cold over here. So it's not a good reflection of what the temperature is, where the air handler is, but I guess they put it over here to try to heat and cool this space, even though there's a lot of outside air infiltration over here. So, yep. All right, we're gonna move on to air handler number 5. All right, we're on air handler number 5 here. We're just gonna make sure the electric heat's working on this one too. It's making some pretty good heat right now. Looks like the last guy left the cover off. Put your covers back on, guys, come on now. But we're gonna take the panel off and just make sure that electric heat's working. This one should be calling because this one is kind of in the same situation. Our thermostat is right there, and it's cooler. It's cooler on that wall there. So we should have electric heat running right now. All right, we have no electric heat on this one right now. That's just the blower amperage. So let's see. Wow, look at this here. Somebody has tucked the W wire away. Wonder why they did that. That looks purposely done. That's odd. Well, let's hook it up and see what happens. All right, we're going to jump. All right, our electric heat comes on when we jump W. So I have, yeah, and it hasn't ran in a while. I can smell it burning. Wonder why somebody did that. Weird. Let all that burn off there. Well, our fuse blew. That's probably why they disconnected W. Let's see why it's blowing the fuse. This is why it shorted out. This is supposed to be connected to that relay down there, and it was disconnected and just laying up against this metal bracket here. So that's why my fuse blew. So let's get that put back on. And let's put that back on and hook it back up and see how it runs. I've got my little popper connected now, just in case there's any other shorts, but I'm wondering if that terminal taken off there was the whole issue altogether, because you can't see that relay behind this panel here, and somebody just knew that they kept on blowing fuses and couldn't figure out why, so they just disconnected the electric heat. So we got it hooked back up now. We're just waiting for the interface module to time out and the thermostat to come on, and then we can see really how it's running. All right, I got tired of waiting and jumped this thing out. So it came on. Electric heat is working. I'm thinking that was the issue. Somebody kept on blowing fuses when the electric heat would come on and couldn't figure out why, and did not remove this little panel here. They thought, oh, those are my two electric heat relays. I don't know what keeps happening, so I'm just going to disconnect it, not knowing that there's a third relay. See, even if you get all the way up here, you can barely see it. So me knowing that relay was back there, checked it out. But I guess the last guy did not. So we got electric heat going right now. We're going to let it run for a few more minutes. We haven't blown the fuse yet, but I know that was the issue, that terminal laying up against bare metal. We'll let it run for a few more minutes. We'll take little popper off there and we'll put a low voltage fuse in there. And I think this one will be good. All right, guys, it's still raining pretty decent, but we worked our way through all the air handlers, found two issues with two of the units with electric heat, and we fixed those. I've already been through these three outdoor units. I still got these two left. They've been non-stop running since I've been here due to that cold condition where the thermostats are. But we're just going to run through them real quick and make sure they're running good. In between the raindrops we are anyway. I don't know why they went Daikin with this unit, because it's the same 2021 serial number as the rest of them. So it's matched with a Trane American Standard air handler, but I don't know why they went Daikin on this one and American Standard on the rest. Maybe they only had 4 American Standards available at the time of installation. I don't know, it's just odd where they had an American Standard air handler and a Daikin outdoor unit from the same year. I don't know, weird. But we're gonna just open them up and check the pressures on both of these and make sure we're good here. All right, we got our gauges hooked up to outdoor unit number 4 now. That my high side just dropped out. There it is. I'm not that far away, but as everybody knows, these Testo smart probes do not have a very good range on them. But it's looking like we're about the same as all the other ones. 5 degrees of subcooling, 18 degrees of superheat. It's not running that bad. It's running in cooling mode. Yeah, looking pretty good on outdoor unit number 4. TXV subcooling on the outdoor unit says 8 degrees. We're a little lower than that, but we can't really get a good gauge on that today because our space temp is, our outdoor temperature is in the 50s. So, looks like everything's running pretty solid. We're going to move on to unit number 5 and just confirm everything with that. I just wanted to show you guys the inside of number 4 real quick. Everything looking good on this. I mean, the system's only 2-3 years old, so everything should be. And the rain is really picking up now. You can see it coming out of this gutter here. But it's not that bad up against this building right here. So, I mean, it's not horrible right here, but it's still raining. So I'm gonna move off this one real quick, move it on to number 5, and then we're gonna get finished up here. I haven't found any issues with the outdoor units yet. So, all right, we just hooked up to the Daikin unit, which is basically just a Goodman unit with a different name nowadays. But we got cooling jumped out. We just got our probes hooked up to it. Let's go back to the iPad inside now and see how this one's doing. All right, this one running a little bit lower suction pressure, but still about 5.7 subcooling, 28 on the superheat. This one is still, I just did jump it over to cooling not long ago, so we're gonna let this one stabilize a little more before we do anything, before we make any assumptions. Let's give it a couple more minutes. All right, not much change after about 5-10 more minutes. So, I mean, this thing's got a soaking wet condenser right now where it's raining. I mean, these numbers look good to me with how cool it is outside, and it's maybe a little bit of load in here, not a whole lot, because they're mainly running the heat. But these pressures and temperatures look good to me. So I'm not seeing any issues with any outdoor units here. Looks like the only two issues we had here were those two electric heat issues on air handler number 3 and air handler number 5, which this one here is 3 and this one here is 5. All right, guys, I'm gonna pack up here and we're gonna get up out of here because I think we're good to go. All right, guys, just getting back in the truck here. Just finished up with that call. Five units it said on our call slip were not working, and it only ended up 2 of them were not working in electric heat. So you really got to dig into stuff and see what's going on, because people will tell you anything. Really, they don't know what's going on with this stuff. But well, one of them was set to emergency heat, and funny enough, that one was working in emergency heat. That was number 1, I believe. Number 1 or number 2 was set to emergency heat. But then when we worked our way through them, we found electric heat not working on number 3 due to the bad high temperature limit, and then wasn't working on number 5 because somebody disconnected it. And then once we reconnected it, it blew the fuse because one of the terminals for one of the relays was shorted against the cabinet. So we fixed all that, got it hooked up, and it never missed a beat after that. All 5 condensing units were running properly in cooling mode and running properly in heating mode. So they wanted us to diagnose everything, so we diagnosed everything. We're supposed to be getting a PM here in a couple days, a week or so. Then I think a crew of PM guys will come over here and do everything. Not just those 5 units, they'll do everything. They'll probably spend about a week over here going through every unit. Yeah, they'll go through every unit and all the package units, all the split systems. There's a ton of equipment out here at this location, so they'll run through all that. But it should be a nice week long, maybe even more contract, and not to mention all the repair orders that we might find doing the PM. So all right, that's it for this one, guys. Hope you liked it. I know it's a little bit different. I was just kind of working my way through every unit, but if you do, give it a thumbs up, and then please subscribe to the channel for more content like this. All right, guys, I'm off to the next one.